It is time for our A3 weekly best 11. You've all been waiting for it. People are already dropping suggestions in the chat. So Jordan, this is how it works. We each take a line and we pick it. We're also going to drop in coach of the week and captain of the week. Captain doesn't have to be in our starting 11. I have the front line. Sandra, do you have our defense? Are you in the back?
I've got all. Look, you guys want to keep giving me the back? I'll work out the back. Let me cook.
All right, well, that's where we start in A3. We love defense, so we're starting in the back, bud. You up first.
All right, let's do this. Maybe there's a little bit of a theme here in my back line. All of them I've noticed had some impact in the attack, found themselves on the scoreboard, I think with the exception of one. But we're coming off of this game on the late night. I've got to get Maroney on this back line. Has been putting up incredible performances for San Diego Wave. Tonight was no difference. She's typically serving them up, creating chances, recording those assists. Tonight, actually getting the goal. So I've got Maroney on that back line. I've also got Casey Krueger on this back line, who was also responsible for an assist for Washington Spirit. I've got Emily Sams in this one for her just incredible consistency for Orlando as always. And I've got also to round out this back line, I had to put Aaron Wright on this back line. I need people to put some respect on Aaron Wright's name. This is a player that constantly covers so much ground, does so much work, I think, that goes unnoticed. But coming out of this week, getting an assist in this game for Racing, and really coming off for me as this player, it's really proven to be part of that catalyst of players who are kind of turning things around and helping Racing turn this corner. Lisa, we had her in a post-game interview on here not too long ago where they kind of conceded that draw a little bit, but the energy from Aaron Wright I thought was just like incredible. Absolute professional, said this is going to be the one, and it sort of feels like after that wild draw they really turned things around. And so I've got her rounding out the four in that back line. I'm going to give love in the goalkeeper position. It was tough for me because it was down to two players. Silkowitz was an interesting case for me, but I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm going to go with Anna Morehouse. And I know folks are going to say, what, Utah game, huh? But this is a goalkeeper that had to face 14 shots from this Utah squad, 5 on target. I'm going to give her due. I'm going to put Morehouse in net.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give a shout out to Jordan Bloomer in goal for Racing Louisville, because she has had to step into this team and in just a few quick weeks turn it around. I think kind of a lot of it goes off of what you said about Aaron Wright. You need someone to do that. And Jordan Bloomer has not been touted as a leader. We're frankly, even an NWSL goalkeeper. These are her first minutes consistently that she is getting. She has come up with huge saves in this game against Angel City. The goals that were scored against her were the banger by Riley Tiernan, and then a penalty that was uncalled for, frankly, thanks to Kayla Fisher. So a penalty. Otherwise, Jordan Bloomer kept Angel City at bay and truly helped Racing Louisville win this game.
Yeah, that little tip she had over the bar at the end.
That was sick. I'm gonna concede Bloomer too, because I'm high on Racing, so I don't need too much convincing right now for that. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that. So I'm gonna swap Morehouse for Bloomer because I feel pretty good about my back line. I don't really want any holes back there.
Yeah, your back line's pretty good. I had Kayla Sharples on mine because I just love a defender goal. I love it. But they didn't need it in this game. So
it was also against Chicago. We keep bringing that up a lot on this show.
Sandra, this has just got to be difficult for you, huh? It's been hard.
You know what? When you're already dead in that regard, I can't be hurt. When you've already sort of put up your walls, you're like,
Yeah. I like this. I like Bloomer in goal. She gives this vocal presence and like a bravada, I think, that Louisville is missing. And Aaron Wright is such a good shout. She surpasses 15,000 minutes. This is a player who's been in NWSL forever, and with so much turnover in Louisville, has done a good job of being a mainstay in that back line and really provided some continuity for them. So I like that. And then you get some goal scorers in there, and Casey Krueger with her assists. Like, I love it. I think you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
I also wrote down Avery Patterson, but then the rest of the Houston game kind of
funny, right?
Fizzled out. So I'll give you these. I like this. Okay, so Maroney, Krueger, Sams, Wright, and then Bloomer is our goalkeeper. Let's move up the field. Our midfield core, Jordan. Who stood out to you this week?
You guys, it's hard. It's hard not to put Kenza Dolly on your midfield group every single week.
Every week.
So good.
Every week.
And she was consistent. Let me read you some of the stats that just came from that game. 5 final third entries, 91 touches on the ball. 91 touches. When Sanchez left the game with 20, 30 minutes left, she had 16. Ashley Sanchez. Kenza Dolly finished the game with 91 touches. And she also won 6 duels. So I don't think she was as she did the simple things, I think, for the San Diego team and let the players in front of her just do the work, right? Stir the pot, go at players, do all those things. And so I really like Kenza Dolly. That's number one. It would be hard not to put Croy Bethune in this.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a goal, you guys. You know where my heart is. I'm with those players coming back from injuries who make a statement, and it does feel like Washington Spirit are a different beast with Croy Bethune on the field, how she can stretch lines, she can create, she can play in the pocket. So I'm going with Dolly, Bethune, and then I got to do Taylor Foote. I just think that this win for Louisville is the call for them having more players in this starting 11. And
3 already.
I know. So but I thought Flint was good. She gets the penalty. She provides a number of interceptions for them. Her aerial presence, that first time it doesn't get an assist on it, but the first time pass she plays to Fisher for the DeMello goal, like in that transition moment, that is massive, and it was the game changer for them. So that's what I'm going with.
As I'm watching these games, I always write down names and then I have to like scratch them out based on like whatever happens in the game. Denise O'Sullivan, I wrote her down, and at halftime I was still like, yeah. And as the game went on, I was like, no, it ran away from them. Ran away from North Carolina.
Yep.
Gia Corley for me is also but it's like one of those things where you're just like, you don't want the team of the week, at least for us in A3, like we never wanted to get to like team specific. So it's almost like if we really wanted to go there, it's almost like we could probably have a flurry of wave players across this 11. So I do wonder if like there's room for Corley in this midfield. I mean, is there also room for maybe like another Spirit midfielder? I have to give some time here to Rebecca Bernal. I think this player has been phenomenal for the Spirit. And at this point in the season, 10 weeks in, we're talking across lines. And I love that during stretches of this game against Seattle, you saw like this is a first-year player to NWSL. There were moments there where we saw her collecting Miura and saying like, we got this, like, don't worry about it, let's go, let's keep doing what we're doing. And I loved to see that kind of leadership from the Mexican international, but I don't know, it's tough because
who would you take out?
Because it's like, what am I going to do? Take out Dali, who's also doing equally incredible stuff. So it's like, it's another one of those weeks where it's just like, I'm not mad at it. We're not mad at anyone's picks here.
Haley McCutcheon was on mine too for that assist. And I just like to have a defensive midi in there. But I like this group that you put in here. So we're gonna stick with it, Jordan.
Yeah, you're gonna stick with your group. You like it? You really like it?
So Dolly,
welcome back, Jordan. Yeah,
so good to be back.
Dolly, Flint, and Croy Bethune. Croy Bethune, first goal.
Yeah,
coming back from that ACL, and she looks good, guys.
Meniscus.
Good. Oh, meniscus. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I just don't want to put that out there, you know?
Yeah, not here.
All right, forward line. Let's talk about it, guys, because
good luck, Lisa, because that was a wild weekend.
Wild weekend. Some of them were easy for me. Barbra Banda, first hat trick in a 3-1 win over Utah, and she gets her first goal in the 6th minute, and then her next 2 goals come in the 37th and the 38th minutes, 1 minute and 37 seconds apart. That is the 4th fastest in NWSL history for Barbra Banda. Orlando's first hat trick of 2025. It jumped her to the top of the Golden Boot race with 7 goals. So Esther is 7, but behind on assists. And the way that Banda scored these 3 goals were essentially in 3 different phases of plays: a cross and a finish that she got on the end of, defensive pressure that she picked off and then put away, and then a breakaway, ball in over the top and getting in behind. So Barbra Banda, Bia at Kansas City, a goal and an assist. Her goal was so composed, quick on her little touch, quick feet, a great shot. And the assist to Temwa Shawinga was even more beautiful than the goal that Bia scored, because it was so cheeky. Just a little scoop pass, the perfect amount of weight on it, perfect amount of pace and delivery, spins around from the defender. Beautiful. And my last one is going to the Canadian international out of San Diego Wave, Adriana Leon. A brace for her. Her first brace. What was it, Jordan? Since 2017?
Yes. Did you get to hear her interview afterwards? I said,
I didn't. What'd she say?
You remember when your last brace was? She's like, I don't even know. Did it even happen before? And I was like, it was back with the Boston Breakers in 2017. And she's like, oh, geez.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so she's obviously on my front line. Any objections, my friends?
Again, it's tough because we know, look, we've been doing team of the week. We introduced it this year. I love to brag. I'm braggadocious about this. We were the ones bringing it. We're the ones doing it. I'm not seeing it out there in other outlets. And every week we're naming names, but it's so funny because it's we know what we're waiting for when these late night recaps come.
Yeah.
And at one point you'll have someone on there and you're like, you have a performance like Adriana Leon, and you're like, well, never mind. I got to add her. I had Hatch on here.
I had Hatch on mine too.
Yeah, dude, right? Mind melt. So it's I had Hatch on here from Friday, and then it's oh, sorry, girlie, I gotta go. I gotta go with Leon. It's tough.
Someone's got to go, and it wasn't going to be Banda, and it wasn't going to be Bia for me, and that was adios, Ashley Hatch. Sorry about that one.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so we're no
Yeah,
complaints. Okay, we're sticking with Banda, Bia, and Leon. Coach of the week. Did anyone stand out to either of you that it really executed?
Can I go first, Sandra?
Please do.
I'm going to say someone that actually didn't win, but I have been thoroughly impressed with Sam Lady. In an interim role, he took an Angel City team that never had an identity, couldn't figure out who they wanted to be, and they are a team that looks like a difficult team to play. And they were riding a good streak. They ended up losing here. But I just want to give flowers to Sam Lady. Even if we don't choose him, I want to give him his flowers because I think it was a difficult go in Houston for him. Now he gets a shot again as an interim and will continue as an assistant coach in Angel City. But just very impressed of how he's handled himself, how he's brought his personality and belief in this group, and they're playing like it. So that's my vote for Coach of the Week.
I think that's super fair. He is someone that we've been honored to have on as coach and Coach of the Week. I think it was early. I think maybe 5 weeks in, because there were just some very special things that we saw in front of us. I mean, that's a tough task to get so many young players or first-year players on board with things, and he's definitely done that. And I think it feels right that you went first, because I'm going the other way and with Bev Yanez and saying, again, someone that we've had on as coach for Team of the Week, and I want to give that. She was
our coach last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago.
Hey, let's get. I love a streak. We love streaks on here. We love records. Let's keep it going. I love what we're seeing out of racing right now, and at this point of the season in particular, because no, you can't completely lose a season in maybe your first quarter of the season. But if it's tough, you can make things tough for you down the stretch of the season. And sometimes it's hard to get over whatever block that is, whether it's the tactics or formations or mental blocks or trying to get over the hump of injuries that you are carrying from an off season into the regular season. And for right now, at least in this moment, racing are doing the thing. And Bev Yanez is huge in that capacity, and honestly along the coaching staff as well. Got to give that little special shout to Carmen Moscato as well. They're definitely putting some things together, and I think that she should get Coach of the Week again this week. But there's a lot of good performances out there. I won't be surprised if you have a different one altogether.
I have a different one, guys. I have a different one. I am gonna go with Jonas Eidevall because to put up a performance that San Diego just did against a North Carolina team that has conceded, what is it, 1 goal in the last 3 matches coming into this, and on the same weekend that his former team won Champions League, that has to hurt. That has to sting a little bit, right? You're proud, but you're also like, damn, I left that club and they just won Champions League. I think that mentally, to come into this game against North Carolina Courage that is so possession based and doesn't concede a lot of goals and can implement style of play and impose that upon you, and to completely shut that down and put away 5 goals, I'm going to go with Eidevall. Yeah,
I concede.
You know what?
I don't say 2 losses for Angel City kind of gets.
Yeah, I know. I just had to give Sam a shout because I'm not on here all the time. I had to use my moment to give him some love.
I love that Jordan gave the shout. I know Bev has been on before. I don't think has Jonas been on our. You know what? That's good. Yeah. That'll be it for me. That'll be the tip for me. We'll give it to Jonas this week.
Congrats, Jonas. You are our coach of the week. So now we get to do captain of the week. This can be anyone. I'm going to go first with mine. Mine is going to be Angel City defender Madison Hammond because she got her ponytail yanked out of her head.
Oh, no. Goodness gracious, and Lisa.
She composed herself. Do you know how mad I would have been if that happened to me?
I often say that when that happens on the pitch, the victim of it deserves a shot. Like they just deserve a shot. Yes. Like at that point, like a cardless shot, like the hockey rule, where it's just like let them police the game themselves. And that it has to be that very specific moment, though.
And Madison Hammond didn't get it. She didn't get it, so she's my honorary captain.
Goodness gracious, Lisa! What a reason! What. All right, Madison Hammond for the ponytail victim. Okay. You know what? I made a case for this player who's not on our team of the week, so I'll just keep it going for that. I'm gonna go with Rebecca Bernal. I'm gonna keep it there because the MVP race is gonna reach a point where things are gonna start heating up because we're going to see that midway point of the season very, very soon. And I think at one point we have all agreed that Debinha was probably leading that race. Maybe sub-leading that race is in Alyssa Thompson. And then it sort of feels kind of wide open. And it's because it feels so wide open, I can't help but think of this player. And I know that at that midway point, there's going to be moments where not only are teams going to continue to separate themselves from others as contenders versus pretenders, but players are going to start getting more hype reels on what they could be up for as far as individual awards. And my concern is that things like midfield of the year or defender of the year, what happens when you have a player that is doing all of this incredible work so quietly week to week? Does she end up getting punished because she is such a versatile player? Not on my watch, baby. I love me the Bernal breaks. Every time she hits him against the opposition, I am here for it. Rebecca Bernal, my captain of the week. I think she's doing incredible things. Do not sleep on her. And if you can't figure out where to put her in contention for midfielder of the year or potential defender of the year, then you better include her in maybe some of that MVP chatter.
Just put her in both, Sandra. I mean, I think you can do everybody right there that we are voting Bernal. But I'm going to give you one more person. All right. I'm going to give you somebody different for the captain because the national team rosters got dropped earlier this week, and you guys have not done this show since then. So I'm going to go with one of your fellow colleagues. I'm going to go with Lola Banda. This is a player who has been a star for so long, consistent, being herself, playing every single week with such energy and captaining this Kansas City team. And she finally gets it. She gets her call up to the U.S. Women's National Team. Her team gets a win this weekend in Chicago. Lola Banda, you're my captain of the week.
That's a good one.
Let's
Guys,
go.
These are good captains.
We didn't give you lady, so I'm going to give you low. Let's go.
I don't know, Sandra, your speech for Rebecca Bernal.
It was so good. I was like, do I even say low?
Bernal.
We need to clip that and run it when we're starting to talk about awards at the end of the year, because
There you go.
you need to be running the campaign for Rebecca Bernal. But yeah, let's give it to Lola Banda. Jordan, thanks. This was a good one.